I guess I'm gonna talk about that real quick. Why I started 5 years ago. I think I might have mentioned this before in a past video, was just because I was extremely depressed, and I was overweight, and I was sick. I was having trouble walking. I was doing a hepatitis C treatment, and that was the scariest thing that I've ever gone through in my life. One of them, besides having severe hemophilia, because I went to the doctor and they told me my liver was on the final stage of liver cirrhosis. And when you look that up, it's not pretty, it's not good. And everything that I read about that just scared me. It made me think that I only had 10 years, 15 years left of my life. And even that is scary. And I just decided to take action. I told myself during that time, I remember the exact mirror I was looking in, and I remember what I looked like. I was pale. I had this beard that was just unmanicured, and I was overweight, and I was just sad. And I just remember asking myself, why should I carry on? And then if I am going to carry on, I'm going all in. All my chips are on the table. So it's all or nothing. And there is no half-ass bullshit anymore. And at that time, the exact wordage that I used was, it's time to sink or fly. There's no sink or swim. There's no middle ground anymore. It's all or nothing. I'm going to sink, I'm down, I'm done, or I'm going to the top. And I found a reason to keep on pushing. I said, if I could find a way to turn my pain into my purpose, if I could use my adversity to change lives, then that would be my reason to keep on pushing forward. And that's what I did, a day at a time. It took me 2 years of constant progression in the gym and consistency before that even paid off a little bit, before I started to get one message of somebody saying, hey, you're really inspiring me to work out and to change my life with having a bleeding disorder. And then I started getting, during this time frame, nobody was talking about hemophilia on social media, and people were scared to admit it. So I started getting a lot of those messages where, hey, you're making me proud to be a hemophiliac. I'm not hiding it anymore. And that was one of the most powerful things anyone's ever said to me. And from that moment on, that was the validation that I needed to push forward. And I've just, starting with that mentality, and now we're just 5-6 years deep. It's hard when you were at rock bottom and you had nothing, you had no one. Everyone that you had, you pushed away. No one wanted to be around me during that time frame. I had zero value. So it's hard to come from that mentality, get to this point, and then for me, it's almost unfair of me to try to get into these relationships and trying to be the guy, be that guy, be the relationship guy, as much as I crave that, and I want that, and I have that desire to want to share my journey, and that desire to be loved and to love someone. Even though I have that from where I started and the mentality that I've developed over these years, it's made it very hard because I prioritize that mission and that purpose so high. And as much as I try not to, it still is there. And I noticed as I got closer to the show date and I had this vision of creating this documentary and just showcasing to all my blood brothers and blood sisters that we can overcome anything. It sounds cheesy sometimes, I guess, but it's not. The people who go through this battle, they understand, It's people who don't, they might not understand, but the people that this message matters to, they get it instantly, that it's not easy to get to this point. This isn't just something you can do in 3 months and say, okay, I want to be a bodybuilder and compete at the highest level, or one of the highest levels. This took years of hard work and dedication, sacrifice, finances, relationships, everything. So I don't have many carbs in my head or my brain right now, so I can't think too well. I just lost my train of thought. But That's why I started, and that's what I had to remind myself of this morning. I just need to speak to God more and figure out what the next steps moving forward would be for my life in order to create more of a balance to where I can have a successful relationship eventually with not just a girl but with other people too. So that's it, guys. So that's my morning thoughts.